Hi, everyone. Welcome back to episode 3 of Women on the Rise. I'm Hannah, one of your podcast hosts, and today I have the incredible opportunity to speak one-on-one with a truly inspiring guest, Sunny, the passionate and visionary founder of the Pink Stairs. Sunny has dedicated herself to empower women and create spaces where their voices can be heard, their talents can shine, and their dreams can thrive. With a heart full of determination and a mission to uplift others, Sunny has built the Pink Stairs into a space full of hope and a powerful platform for change. Sunny, please take a moment to briefly introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Sunny. I'm currently a grade 12 high school student and I recently founded the Pink Stairs. I'm very excited to be on here today and talk about my journey.
Okay, so to start off, what inspired you to start the Pink Stairs? And was it a significant moment that led you to focus specifically on women's empowerment?
I'd known for a bit that I wanted to start a nonprofit organization for women, but it definitely took me a few months to build up the courage and the confidence to take that leap. As a kid, I was always really passionate about feminism. When I started hitting the age of 9 and 10 and I really wanted to fit in and be liked, I tried really hard not to be like one of the other girls. And I think a lot of girls went through a similar phase where you try to separate yourself from people's typical perception, this pick-me phase, you don't want to be like the other girls. But I had to realize that you can't satisfy everybody, and no matter what I did, there was always something that people had to say about it. So I sort of realized that the underlying factor that causes this isn't being quiet or acting a certain way or liking a certain thing. It was just being a woman and my own femininity. And I didn't want to sacrifice my own femininity to please others. I think even today there's this misconception that you can't be both a feminine person and a leader. And that's kind of what inspired the name. Another thing that hit me was a lot of the jokes my male friends would begin making when we hit that age where it was cool to hate on women.
Yeah.
And obviously, I was in an age of wanting to look cool, so I wouldn't say anything. I didn't want to be perceived as, another hot-headed feminist. But each joke that I tolerated, it wasn't just harming their respect for me, it was harming women across the globe. It was undoing what our ancestors fought so hard for. So what if I'm a hot-headed feminist? Is it crazy that I'm passionate about my own rights? That I want to feel like I'm being judged equally to the man next to me? So yeah, I really wanted to build a community of women who could uplift each other, especially for young girls. I think it's so important that they don't go through the same thing that I went through, and they learn to stick by each other from an early age.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with that. And so, as you said, taking that leap was kind of difficult for you. And so who or what has been your greatest source of support throughout your journey as a founder?
So in the beginning, we had Danielle as one of our associate directors, as well as Devong. So Danielle goes to the same school as me. So we would do a lot of coffee shop meetups. We were constantly bringing up new ideas, kind of grounding each other. And while she can't be with us on the team anymore, she definitely helped me start it up a lot. So shout out to Danielle. Devong does not live in the same city as me, so we can't see each other that often, but we actually met on LinkedIn, and he's contributed a lot of amazing insights professionally and in the tech industry. He runs our software internship, and he's very compassionate. He has some great ideas all the time. My own parents, who in the beginning, they had a lot of doubts about it, but they still supported me just because I felt so passionate about it. I think another thing that really helped, though, to build my confidence was that I had gotten involved in a lot of other nonprofits throughout my high school career. So I was in a lot of advocacy nonprofits for things like mental health, feminism again, or even robotics for kids. So I was familiar with the routine of things like event planning, fundraising, marketing, communication, team building. Or even in school, I had been in the drama club since grade 9. So it gave me a lot of team management skills, the leadership that I need to run my own organization. So yeah, I think you definitely need to start small, work your way up, but still be confident in your own abilities, because big dreams are killed by small minds.
Word! No, I definitely agree though, because taking that leap is really difficult, and having that experience and then just having that support is really important. Yeah. And then so my next question is, so it's only been a few months since you've launched this project, but what were some of like the biggest challenges you kind of faced during it, and like how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I think that in any case, building a team that you think is truly reliable and that shares your values, it really makes or breaks your project. So when I first wanted to start the Pink Stairs, I was thinking a lot about who I wanted on my core team. In recruitment, I wanted to make sure that the people helping out would really be valuable in scaling this up and helping us make an impact. I'm really satisfied with our team right now. We have a lot of passionate volunteers across so many countries. It's expanded really quickly, and we have a lot of directors who are super committed and always looking for ways to us to expand. I think the other challenge is just convincing yourself that it's not a crazy, stupid idea. I think that there were a lot of what ifs and imagine ifs. You have to see some realness in those statements. And
yeah, for sure.
I'm glad that I pushed through those doubts, because I'm really happy with how quickly the Pink Stairs has grown and become a haven for women across all ages to bond.
Yeah, I think it's a really, really, like, just, it's an amazing thing what you're doing for girls in our community, but then not only limited to our city, but like across the globe as well. And I think that's really amazing. And so, how has the organization evolved since its beginning?
I definitely feel like I'm not in this alone anymore. When I first started, I wanted this to be a community of women empowering each other and empowering other women. So like 5 girls, 4 girls. And it all really started with me just planning everything out in my head and then putting it into writing on my laptop, doing research for incorporation and doing a lot of marketing and networking. So it definitely doesn't feel like it's just me in this mission anymore. There's so many women who are working together on this common goal. We have 170 volunteers in 24 countries, which is so crazy to me. And because we have such a diverse range of a team, we also cover all perspectives, which I love. And I mean diverse in both age and industry. We have volunteers who haven't even entered high school yet, all the way to university graduates, which is pretty amazing. And we cover so many industries. We have the podcast, we have an editorial team, we have a software internship, we have an economics accelerator coming up, so many different industries and fields. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really cool how fast you've kind of expanded this project, and then like how many like volunteers and like how many members you've gathered, and I think that's really amazing. So what are your goals for the Pink Stairs in like the next few years, and how do you plan to expand on that impact?
One thing I'm hoping we can do is gain more visibility. But a long-term project that we have been working on, keep an eye out, is a global pen pal program. So students from first world countries such as Canada can become a pen pal ambassador, and you would be a pen pal with girls in developing countries who may be facing some kind of systemic barrier. I guess it would be sort of nice to have that connection with another girl, ocean to ocean, and bond on common experiences and differences, because their experiences would be very different, and they would earn volunteer hours for participating. But it's more than hours. I think it builds perspective. It teaches them to stick by each other early on, because that's when we're the most powerful as women, when we stick by each other instead of tearing each other down in a society that's already trying to tear us down. I would hope that this initiative can really bring all of these girls to uplift each other. As I said, we cover a lot of industries, but I'm hoping we can implement more events that satisfy even more industries.
Yeah, I think that's a really good goal, and like it's definitely like attainable with how much effort and like dedication you're putting into the organization. And so, are there any like specific changes or like impacts you want the Pink Stairs to have on not only our small community, but like on a larger scale as well, without like a specific time frame or anything?
Yeah, absolutely. I really hope we can erase the stigma speaking about sexual assault. There are so many stories of like horrifying stories of things that happen to women who, I don't know, reject a guy and then get kidnapped and tortured.
Yeah.
Or so many terrifying stories, and yet there's always somebody who has something to say about it, and it makes so many women who have experienced something similar scared to speak up. I hope that we can encourage women to speak up, because the more we're able to be confident and advocate for ourselves, the more people will believe us and realize that this is a serious issue. The other thing is there's this stigma around being a feminist, and I think being a feminist should never be something that's shameful or embarrassing or try hard, whether you're a guy or a girl. It should be embarrassing not to be a feminist, if anything, because for you to even have the opinion to not be a feminist, that is an opinion that back then you would not be able to have.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
Or working, like, who said you can have an opinion? Feminists did. And I also hope we can overall increase opportunities for young women to learn and develop skills in career industries that are male-dominated.
Yeah, I think it's just a really big issue. There's so many big issues concerning like feminism and like just female empowerment, and I think it's really great how you just made an entire organization that's dedicated to solving these type of injustices. So on a personal level, how do you plan to continue growing as like a leader and an advocate for women's empowerment? What makes you stand out from other like nonprofit feminist organizations?
I've always been a curious person, not even just in feminism, but like I'm a STEM student. I have always wanted to learn more in math and science. I'm always listening to podcasts myself that are math or science related. I always want to learn more. But that's me academically. In terms of feminism and advocacy, it's the same way. I'm always looking for ways to deepen my understanding of the issues that women face globally. Recently, I have been watching a lot of video essays on feminist topics, and I have a short attention span, so they're really good, and they are so insightful. They like have so much cool information, a lot of good perspectives, and they're always up to interpretation too, right? So it's pretty cool. I want to get back into reading more philosophical books as well. I used to do that a lot, but I guess with school I haven't been able to. But yeah, just video essays, reading, I think they're really helping me think more critically about how I can apply these ideas to the pink stairs to make it more impactful and inclusive. I think that true advocacy comes from always learning and staying open to new perspectives. So I definitely want to expand my knowledge and keep up with the latest ideas so that I can really support the women that we're trying to empower.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. And I think it's really because of your dedication, your commitment, and your advocacy that makes you stand out from other nonprofit organizations. So about the Pink Stairs specifically, like what inspired the name and what does it symbolize for you?
Yeah, so I mean, we're elevating women, literally. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier, there's this idea that you can't be feminine and leader-oriented, which is so untrue. People ask me a lot if I think it's supporting a stereotype since we're using the color pink for a women's nonprofit. So I'll say it here, we aren't saying that women must be pink. But there's something special about pink to me, not just because it's my favorite color, but because it's become a personal token of me being able to embrace my femininity. And it's not us saying, oh, girls are pink and boys are blue, and that's that. We want young girls to know that they can be girly and frilly and still deserve to be taken just as seriously as their male colleagues.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people follow that stereotype even now, and I think that's really like disappointing, to be honest. Yeah. So I'm happy you're like bringing awareness to that specific stereotype with just the name. So some questions for like inspiring women. For young women who might feel like hesitant or intimidated by the idea of starting their own initiatives, like their own projects, what advice would you offer to help them build confidence and take that leap like you did?
To me, I think there's 3 things that are key to starting your own organization or any kind of a big passion project, which would be persistence, passion, and experience. and I'll talk about all three. I don't think I would be able to run the Pink Stairs as well as I currently do if I didn't already have experience working with nonprofits or in school clubs. Having experience in all the things I mentioned earlier, like event planning, fundraising, all of these definitely help. So start small, work your way up. Even having mentors can really help. I haven't had one, but even just getting advice from your friends, older people, it's really helpful. Learning the basics. And yeah, having a long-term goal is helpful, but definitely start small and understand what you're getting into. And I say persistence as in it's going to be hard, it's going to be challenging, it's a lot of work, especially in the beginning. But if you are confident in your ideas and you keep going with them no matter what obstacles you face, it really does pay off. And it's very, very rewarding. So having that confidence is really important. Lastly, I say passion because that's what's going to inspire new ideas and what's going to push you to do more. Even in entrepreneurship or starting an organization like I did, whatever you're doing, if you don't have passion, it's not going to feel authentic and people can tell. So, yeah, and I would say believe in your own ideas when nobody else does, and know that you can be girly and be a good leader. Those two things can coexist.
Yeah, it's definitely, I think a lot of young girls like our age, they have the same kind of idea, same passions as we do, but they aren't given the same opportunities and they also feel really hesitant because like some things can be holding them back. And so I think it's really brave of you to be like, starting this all on your own in high school. Like that's really crazy. And then also, what practical steps or resources would you recommend for girls and women interested in starting their own non-profit organizations or community projects?
I would say having a vision, doing your research, being very, very organized, and building connections. Research is so, so, so important. Research your niche. You need to be able to research and sort of know, especially if you want to scale it up legally, financially, all of these details you need to know. Have a vision because it will die down if you don't even know what your end goal is, what kind of impact you want to make, or where you see it going. Um, and that ties in with organization because you need to be able to manage and set goals for yourself to work towards. Especially in the beginning, it's a lot of planning, planning events, planning out the structure of what you have in mind. And overall, building connections, you probably heard everyone talking about networking. Your network is your network. Yeah. Knowing the right people really does get you places. It's so good. Especially if you can meet someone who shares your values, meeting like-minded people, that's even better. Um, but definitely, I think a diverse team is amazing as well. When you connect with somebody who shares your mission, but you have different skills and different perspectives, that's what makes a great team.
Yeah, 100%. And then so you said earlier in the beginning of this episode that you are a high school student. And so I feel like there's a lot of students in like our audience. And so I wanted to ask, how are you able to balance like academics and also having these nonprofits on the side?
So I use my reminders app. I time block everything. I think a lot of people use other things like Notes, Notion. They all work amazing, but the idea is organization and time management. What I do is I have categories for every commitment that I have. So school, the pink stairs, the clubs that I might be in, and then for each category, I have actual reminders or like things to do, and then I schedule them. One thing about me is I don't like to waste time. If I have any free time, and this is kind of a double-edged sword, but if I have any free time, I will think, okay, what can I get done right now? And then I will open my reminders and see what is scheduled for the soonest, so I might as well get it done. So that's one thing I do. But yeah, whenever I'm gonna commit to something new, I look at my calendar. I make sure I have the time in my schedule to commit. And yeah, so I don't want to overload myself, obviously, but it's definitely busy being in grade 12 and then having these extracurriculars. So I honestly could not live without my reminders app. Like, I don't even remember what I have to do for the week. I have to open it. Like, I'll see the time and I'll be like, okay, what do I have to do right now? So, yeah, if you enter high school, invest in some sort of like organization app, whether that's Notion, reminders, Google Calendar, a lot of people use that. It is so, so helpful. It will save your life.
Yeah, 100%. And then so we're gonna be moving on to university in the next year and so. So, do you think that's going to cause any like bumps in the road when it comes to the pink stairs? Like, do you think there's gonna be any like barriers or like if you get really busy and you can't manage it anymore? Do you have any plans for that?
I definitely think I might be busier in university, but I'm kind of excited about the people that I might meet. I feel like I can learn so much more and meet so many more people who can help out or even just give me fresh perspectives that I can bring to the pink stairs. So I like to see it in more of a positive light. But yeah, I think that having good time management, honestly, with my mindset, I'm a little cocky. I like to think like I can handle it. I'll be fine.
Yeah.
The thing with time management is I think people talk about it a lot, but it is such an important skill. You can handle a lot with good time management. And I had to develop it because I used to work at a grocery store as a supervisor, and I got so many hours. It was a busy store. So I would be working like 3, 4 days a week. And this was during like my grade 10 and 11 years in high school. So you can guess I was really overwhelmed, especially in grade 11. That was when I actually had to begin time blocking all of my days.
Yeah.
I don't work there anymore because I wanted to focus on school and obviously the pink stairs. But that's a skill that I've been able to carry on, and I think it'll help me a lot when I go into university.
Yeah. So as the organization continues to expand in like the next months or like the next few years, do you have any tips for the audience on how they could get involved into helping with our cause?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of our programs are seasonal. So I'll mention those first. We have a software internship. Anyone can apply, but it's very commonly undergrad students and some high school students. We do favor girls in the internship, but it's not strictly limited to girls. And it's seasonal. So we had one in July, and right now we have one for September. It's a 2-month internship, so September to October, end of October. It's a 2-month internship, so September to the end of October. So that's one thing. You can always keep an eye out. Our Instagram is thepinkstairs.official, so you can always stay updated on any upcoming opportunities. If you're listening like within September, we have a economics accelerator for high school and undergrad students to learn about economics. You can create your own reports and case studies under our guidance, which is a good passion project for your resume, for your portfolio. You can build a lot of great connections with top universities like Western Ivy, UPenn, and get to know people in the industry like investment bankers, startup CEOs, graduates from schools like Rotman. And yeah, another thing we have for high school students, but anybody can participate, is we deliver letters of support every month to Evangeline Residence, which is a women's shelter under the Salvation Army in Toronto. So what you can do if you go to our Instagram, our LinkedIn, or our website, thepinkstairs.org, you can submit a letter digitally. And if you are in high school, you can upload your PDF. You can upload your volunteer hour form as a PDF, and you will get half an hour for every letter that you write. Very short letters, but we will decorate them, we will print them out and deliver them. And you would be supporting so many women who are going through difficulties right now, domestic violence, addiction, anything like that. So yeah, it can really make a huge difference.
Yeah, and I just want to point out that I think it's really great how like we're doing this and like supporting girls in our community, because like for us growing up, like we were completely unaware of like these kind of opportunities on a global scale apart from just like in the community. And so I think it's really great what you're doing, truly.
Yeah, so before we end the podcast off, if you are a business owner or any kind of advocate leader, you want to promote your work, or you just want to be featured on the podcast and you are a woman, you can sign up to be a guest on the podcast. We interview somebody every 2 weeks, and it's a great way to promote any kind of work that you're trying to do, or just get to know our team. We are fun people, so yeah.
Yeah, we're not all like crazy academic, you know. We're fun. We're fun. Okay, so wow, truly inspiring words spoken by our beloved founder, Sunny. Well, that marks the end of today's episode. Thank you, Sunny, once again for joining me on this episode. It was really my greatest pleasure to interview you. Thanks to our loyal audience as well for listening to this episode. And be sure to check out our Spotify profile for our social media handles, and we'll see you all in the next one. Bye!
Bye!